I know I'm not running. But the thing I'm also very clear about is, anyone who's talking about 2028 is not taking 2025 very seriously. We are watching direct assaults on our communities, direct assaults on our neighbors, direct assaults on our legacies. That's taking place right now.
This is the time. This is the time when people are going to learn that you are not just going to attack us and attack our future and attack our children and think we're going to take it. We fight back. We mobilize. We march. We push. We get results, and we win.
Well, that is Maryland Governor Wes Moore speaking Friday in South Carolina at Congressman Jim Clyburn's world-famous fish fry. And the man my next guest says is the 2028 Democratic candidate that no one's talking about. Though now you are. Journalist and MSNBC political analyst Alexi McCammon is joining me now. Good to see you. Your latest piece on Substack, The Myth of the Political Savior, Why Democrats Keep Falling for the Same Fantasy and What It's Costing Us. Wow, let's get into that, because you heard him say that he's not running in 2028. But what is the significance of him showing up at this event in South Carolina?
Yeah, Alex, thank you for having me. And, frankly, it's a smart thing for him to answer that he's not running, because he's showing that he's focused on not just the present moment, but of course, being governor and governing for the people in this moment. But a lot of folks should be talking about Wes Moore as a potential 2028 candidate, in part because of that, because he is someone who has this substance and has been a servant to his country in many different ways. He's a military vet. He formerly ran the Robin Hood Foundation. He is a Harvard grad. He's a public servant through and through, but he's not someone who wants to sort of oversaturate the airwaves or make everything about himself. What's also interesting about him showing up to that event, though, is that there were some Democrats who wanted to disinvite him from that dinner altogether in South Carolina because he vetoed a bill in Maryland to give reparations to folks in his state. And that's an interesting 2028 calculus, too, because, of course, he's a Democratic governor in a blue state where he could do something that progressive, but people might consider that too radical, and it could come back to haunt him in 2028 if he does run.
Interesting. So, look, Democrats could potentially have a pretty deep bench in the next presidential cycle. Shouldn't voters hear from other contenders like Governor Andy Beshear, Governor J.D. Pritzker, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Governor Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris? I mean, don't they all have something to say people should hear?
Absolutely, they do. And I think we're going to hear from a lot of them and then some. And you're already seeing a lot of those folks step out. I mean, we just saw Governor Tim Walz, as you showed in that video, with Governor Moore as well. But we see other people. Gavin Newsom has started his own podcast. Pete Buttigieg has gone across the airwaves. People are talking about Governor Gretchen Whitmer. You'll notice it's a lot of Democratic governors, and I think that's an interesting through line for people to consider too. Of course, big names like Pete Buttigieg are an exception to that, and they get a lot of attention because he's grown and built so much name recognition at this point. But governors in particular have proven to be really formidable candidates and kind of proven servants and lawmakers who get things done for the people in a way that folks who serve at the national level don't have that same view all the time.
Yeah, certainly not of late. So Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been sharing the stage with Senator Bernie Sanders on the Fighting Oligarchy tour, drawing enormous crowds. Several polls show her emerging as a favorite among Democrats for 2028. Do you see her, Alexi, as a viable option?
Yeah, it's funny because I think a lot of the polls are showing folks with great name ID, and obviously AOC, like Pete Buttigieg, has that. She also has a lot of star power. You see the rallies and the people she's able to bring to these events with Senator Bernie Sanders. The problem, of course, is that we've seen this time again. We've seen it with Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton. Folks are reluctant to elect a woman to be president, even and especially within the Democratic Party. And folks that I have heard conversationally and otherwise will say straight up, I love Bernie Sanders. I hate that AOC. And it's so interesting when you stop to consider or question why, because it goes to those familiar themes we hear about, oh, I just don't like her. I don't like the way she talks. She's all about herself. She's full of herself. When her ideology is the same as Bernie Sanders and they love him, it's just a different messenger they want.
Boy, that is a conversation we should have, and we could do several minutes, a full hour on that kind of thing, big picture. But Alexi McCammon, thank you so much for now.